because we're going to be bringing in our caller very soon, our guest actually. She's going to be joining us on phone. We'll be looking at the plight of homeless Nigerians in diaspora. According to the report, the chairman and CEO of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa, urged Nigerians traveling abroad to do so legitimately and with proper documentation to avoid unpleasant consequences. So joining us on the show at this point very soon is the Comptroller of Nigeria Immigration Service, Murtala Mohammed Airport, Mrs. Adeola Adesokan. She will join us in a moment, but before we get her on, you can join the conversation on the numbers on your screen, 090-241-63440, 081-076-41679. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect, please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read the tweet. So we saw really disturbing videos about Nigerians who were camped outside a parking lot or an open space. And the videos were showing people, they were camped outside, they had tents, and that was where they were living now. As the cold season, the winter season is coming up, you know, they are scared of what's going to happen because according to the report that we saw, somebody actually already died. And they're really fearful of more deaths, especially when the winters come and it gets really cold. And they're seeing what the government, maybe local or international, the government can do to help them in some way. And this is why the Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa was saying that Nigerians who are going abroad must ensure they go with the right papers and go legitimately, because when you don't do that, this is what happens. Let me come to the ladies. What are your thoughts on this before we bring in our customs controller?
I don't want to talk.
You don't want to talk about immigration matters?
It's very sad.
Yeah, it's actually sad because, you know, I was looking at it. I said, who are these Nigerians actually? It would be nice to also know how they got there. Are these people without proper papers? Are these people who have lost their jobs? You know, are these people who have just lost accommodation? Because, as we know, globally, there are all sorts of economic problems right now. Yeah. So, if this is just about papers, I mean, when will Nigerians learn? You know, it's not enough to just say you sell everything, pack up and go. Because, you know, I was actually discussing with someone recently and she was like, all this JAPA everyone is talking about, she sat down to calculate and she realized she's too poor to JAPA. So, and that this amount of money that people put towards that, if she had that money, she knows where she will be here in Nigeria. So why are people putting all that money just to end up in this situation? It's actually sad. And, you know, now they're calling from there for the federal government to come and help. I hope that's what they want, that maybe the best our country can do is try and bring them back so that they can come home and enjoy some sunlight.
The issue is not so much of the JAPA. For me, the issue is Nigerians liking shortcuts and not liking to do the right thing. You know, sometimes many of us want to travel. We don't go online.
So are these just people that don't have papers?
Well, I'm assuming that these ones don't have papers because if you go there legitimately, there's a procedure on how you get settled in. Yeah. So many Nigerians, instead of them going to the Canadian embassy, for example, going online to check the proper procedure, you get an agent. Oh, I know one brother that does, one uncle, and they introduce you to the uncle. The uncle now says, you just send me this amount of money, I'll process the papers for you. You want to sit down in your house, and they call you tomorrow, your paper is ready. Go and buy your ticket, start going tomorrow. That's what Nigerians want. Half the time. I'm just saying many Nigerians want to make a call and let uncle process all the documentation and then bring it to them. And it's when you do that, you get stuff like this. But we don't want to sit down and go and do documentation. That's some cases where people use agents. And it's these agents that dupe Nigerians and get you to come abroad without ensuring that you have the right documentation to be in the country. In some cases.
I may be wrong, but I don't think that's how it happens in this case. I know that sometimes you go to you're trying to travel and then you get to the embassy and they turn you back. You don't get the visa. You try 1 year, 2 years. I've seen people who have tried for 10 years to relocate and they don't get it. And then there are other options. People now say, oh, there's somebody who can arrange it for you to go through the sea or go through the container or go through this place and jump the fence, you know. You now look for that option because you have failed trying to go through the right way. And because you're desperate enough to travel, any option that comes, you're okay with it. And I think that's how they end up here. Because if you go through the right channels, right? I have a few friends who relocated just a few months back. Before they even got there was a job. There were jobs waiting for them. Yeah. They had their papers, everything was done. It took them years to get there, but they waited it out. They were doing their work here while they sorted out everything. As they got there, they got into their job, they got into their little apartments. They are okay now and they are progressing, right? But what I see is the desperation of, I have tried so many times, I must go either which way. And that's how they end up here. And also, I don't know what it is that they want the federal government to do for them right now. Let us be real in this conversation. The government has not finished attending to us that we are here, right? We still have issues that we are holding the government to do for us. What do you want now? Do you want to come back? Because sometimes you ask them questions, they don't want to come back. They believe that once I am there, however I find my life is easier for me, there is no shame there. Nobody knows me there. I can do anything and survive there than coming home to where neighbor is looking at me, auntie is calling me shameless and all of that. So they would rather stay there. We need to ask them what they want. And repatriating people who go voluntarily on their own and get into this kind of crisis is a lot of money on the government.
Of course.
Do we have the resources to be asking this airpiece now to go and bring them back? And can we afford it right now?
But we know what them freeze to death.
Also, I don't think it's even practical for them to come back. Most of them are coming back to nothing. Some sold their houses, took loans to go. And they knew they were not going with the right papers. Some have connecting flights. They will stop. Maybe you're going to Trinidad and Tobago, you have a connecting flight at the US, you quickly stop there. Now be seeking asylum. You declare gay. You will declare all of that. Everything LGBT to qualify. Right. We know the realities of how Nigerians are trying to go there. I saw a video of some who were trying to get asylum into Canada from America, and the official was now reading out a riot act or something to them. And I saw able-bodied, healthy, elite Nigerians who could read, most from the South. Hardly do you see a northerner involved in this. Say, yes, ma, yes, yes, at the border. I just cannot imagine myself in such a place. I just can't. I'm too dignified a Nigerian to go and start from that point. Okay. So we put ourselves through this. At the end, we're looking at the end goal, whatever justifies. Once the Nigerian finally gets the asylum, is able to balance out, what he does first is pepper them back home. He does a video. Nobody talks about the journey down there. I know someone who had a bakery, 2. And somebody opened another bakery opposite his bakery. That one had a delivery van. It's not to find the facility for a delivery van.
Simple.
He sold it and went through Libya.
No, when you say that,
our guest is here. Okay. I'll come back to you, Miriam. Our guest, we have our Customs Controller of Nigeria Service, Immigration Service, actually, at the Murtala Mohammed Airport, Mrs. Adeola Adesokan. Good morning, madam. Are you there? Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Good to have you on the show. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, I'm here.
Nice voice.
Yes.
So we're talking about Nigerians who are relocating and immigrating without the proper documentations. Could you give us some insight from your own office?
Okay. Thank you, everyone. It's right now, what people do not understand is there are a lot of differences between regular migration and irregular migration. The irregular one that most Nigerians go through is a form of movement across the border without them having prerequisites requirements in terms of entry and staying in their country of destination. For example, there are about 3, people call it twin evil, twin crime, smuggling of migrants and trafficking in person. Some will even sell their products and go legally, but they do not have requirement to stay in that country. Probably they are giving you a visa, a visiting visa, and you are carrying all your family members. You just want to go to Canada. You want to go to America. So number one, you will eventually cross the border, though legally, but getting there, you become an illegal immigrant. So we need to spell it out so that we can tell Nigerians and the younger generations that it's not that it's bad to travel, but when you want to travel, it's good to travel legally, to travel, in such a way that you will be able to stay in that country. People call it twinning, I call it triplets. That triplet is even going up now. I will tell you, The first one is smuggling of migrants. The people that speak to our younger generation, they said, I can cross through Libya. All you need to do is give me a particular amount of money. I will take you across. And before you know it, you are landing in Italy. So that's smuggling of migrants. They go through illegal routes, through pains. Some will stay in an hotel, so to say, and harass them, give them money. Then they pass through the IC. Some die. Some will not reach their destination. The smugglers will just collect their money, so heavy amounts of money, and that's all. They don't have a relationship with them. But the one that is terrible is trafficking in person. That person might be your auntie, your brother. I have a job in Iraq, Baghdad. I will bring you across. Don't worry. They do that by deception, coercion, and different, for the reason of exploitation, but unknown to these younger ones. They will trust their uncle, they will trust their brother. You know, in Nigeria, we have plenty uncles, a village uncle, city uncle.
Yeah.
They will just go across until they get there. Then they will now begin to understand that this is not a game. The third one that we don't talk about is stow away. People enter into the ship without having an idea how long they will get to that destination. We have stories, we have pictures, we have experience, because anytime all these three categories find themselves abroad, guess what? International organization will bring all of them together and they will pass through this gateway. It is when they come back that I receive them. When you hear the harrowing stories they have gone through, they will say, Madam, please, can you take us, video us, hear us firsthand, so that others who are planning on this journey of no return can hear it. So when I started hearing about their story, I was posted here last year, I found out that what we read and write about smuggling of migrants, people traveling abroad, is different from the story they bring back. And that story nobody is hearing is a gunpowder. We need to go out. Based on that, we started, sitting down, looking at the books again. Let's start going out and sensitize this younger one. Okay. They will never know that this is what they will be meeting over there. If we keep quiet and we do not tell them, how do we stop it? So we started adopting a program by the service headquarters under the Comptroller General of Immigration, Adeola Adesokan, that we should go to schools. Okay. We now go and enact a club so that we can tell these children, because who is the person that is talking to your children first? They listen to them. Please, we are not saying you shouldn't travel, but read your book. Study. You can even go abroad and become a doctor. Beat the best to become the best. But from now, make sure that you are not nursing ambition. When I finish my secondary school, that is all. I'm traveling out. To go and do what?
Okay, let me put you on a quick break. Let me just go on a 1 minute break. I'll be right back. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We still have the Comptroller of Nigerian Immigration Service, Mr. Adeola Adesokan. You were saying earlier, we just wanted to know, so for your office, for example, you don't get to interface with these migrants when they leave. It's only until they come back that you get to interface with them, because we're thinking of, is there something, is there an office you can use to support them when they travel, just to give them insights on how to get around as they're settling into the new countries or their host countries?
Yes, we are saddled with the responsibility of control of both entry and exit. If you check my statistics, what we do is when people come back, we take their stories, we put it into a clip, we show them when they're about to go. We tell them, listen to people who have gone to Dubai, who have gone to India. This is their story. And we have been able to achieve a greater result, that some of them said, if this is what is happening, then we will not go. When some of them are because they come back in droves, please. Like in a week, I can actually have nothing less than about 80. So I keep them in a particular room with those who we have apprehended, don't go. But you know, when you tell people don't go, they say, after all, there are people that are there.
Are
They are
there.
adults.
Surviving.
They are matured. The law will not allow you to stop an adult who have a visa, who have a visa obtained from from the right source. We also have a passport from the right source. But when they hear the story, some of them, we have a clip, they say, please, we are no longer going. Then they will now start confessing. I said, please, I'm a woman. I also have children like you. Please don't go. This is the story. For example, there's Betty. Betty came back from us, from India. Actually, Betty was lured by a sister who said, now the father is dead, and please let me come and help you in India. I'm doing well. To go and come and be selling something in the boutique. Do you know when Betty got to India, the moment she arrived, that same night, the sister took away the phone and said, oh yeah, go with this man, you are starting prostitution. This girl, I'm telling you, life story, the video is here with me. I have clips upon clips that you will cry. When she was talking, we were all weeping. Then she was left in the cold. Nothing. Every night, not one, not two, not three men. She became sick. When she got sick, then she didn't know what to do. Eventually, one person she befriended said, please, can I have access to the Facebook? Then she put her name there in the Facebook that she's looking for a family member. You know, the husband, the father is dead. And the mother she told me that her mother wanted her not to go. It was that uncle that contacted the Nigerian High Commission in India, and they were able to locate her and brought her back. What about Ore in Iraq? Ore went to Iraq to go and work. On getting there, she had appendix, right?
Ascites.
And she now told him, yes, she said, please, I need to go to the hospital. I'm not feeling very well. That man, the people that employed her took her to another person that he cannot afford the hospital bill, but they will be able to assist in that bill. But Ore was a very smart girl. I don't know, someone like me, even if you speak many languages, I might not be able to hear, but she has started picking a little languages of theirs. It was then we said, well, if they operate on her and remove the appendix, then they will also take one kidney out. It was when she had that her kidney would be removed. I don't know how she got my phone. She contacted me because the moment she contacted me, I contacted Madam Abike Dabiri. I said, this is a Nigerian stranded there. She's so intelligent. She has a phone. She was able to share her location. With the help of Madam Abike Dabiri and other agencies, NAPTIP, all of us, we were able to bring this girl back. The day she came back, we were all celebrating here. She will have gone there, died.
Wow.
I have clips. People will go there and they will be walking.
Let me just get in one question for you before we wrap up. Go ahead, Mary.
So I assume these are some of the videos you also show in schools when you go. But,
Absolutely.
yes, but, I'm curious to know if, like the first story you told us, that her sister, involved her in prostitution, is there something that we do also with the government of that country to make sure that people like that, Nigerians like that, taking advantage of Nigerians abroad, are apprehended?
That is what we are doing with the Nigeria in diaspora. And that's why we've been together. There are a lot of ways to combat it. So we work with the Interpol, we work with NAPTIP, we work with a lot of security and sister agencies to ensure that this, and Madam Abike actually will go to the High Commission here and sit them down. That's why the act has been enacted. So we engage, but more importantly, I'm using this opportunity to even invite you. NYC is there. They have given us an approval again that we should come and talk about this JAPA syndrome. We will go there and talk to people, sensitize them, give them the true picture. What they think is greener pasture is not. It might look like that, but it is not. If we don't tell our younger generation, many people in the village, they will be distributing, donating their children. Uncle, this is taking my baby to abroad to go and work and learn trade. It's not true. We are going to come this December 18. We are going to the markets. We will walk and trek to the market and tell the market women, please don't release your children anyhow without knowing where they are going to.
Right.
And what we also want to go to Motor Park, you will see us trekking with the megaphone.
I think I'll let you
more
go.
people
Yeah.
about the dangers.
Thank you very
so
much. It was a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for enlightening us on this. We really appreciate you joining us on the show. Let me come back to the list before we wrap up. I mean, what are your thoughts? This is very difficult to...
Okay, so migration is good. Migration is okay, but let's do it for the right reasons. Let's not... There's this wind of condemning your country and looking for any option, whether good or bad, just to make it justify that condemnation that you're giving to your country. And it's not going to pay us Nigerians. Before we were born, after we will pass, people would leave this country and do better outside. But this bandwagon of go at all costs and live and put up in this kind of tents that we have is not befitting of us. It should not be a way to migrate.
And there's another part.
Also be a way to go through the Sahel at any cost.
And there's another part that we didn't mention, the fact that it is Nigerians sometimes manipulating the system. It's the Nigerians also the ones luring innocent Nigerians. So we also must show love to use them. So we must also do right by our people. Let's not make them do things that are illegal just because of our own personal selfishness. It's wrong. These people bringing them to these countries without proper documentation is wrong. So this is not a government here, because every small thing is government's problem. It is us Nigerians doing this to ourselves. You know, there's also the angle of, even now you now get there illegally. Nigerians don't come together to support. There's another video that was trending with that man that was complaining that Nigerians, because we know we are illegal, a Nigerian company will employ you, and because they know I'm illegal, I pay you way beyond minimum wage because you cannot run away. So I pay and then they're complaining.
It's the consequences.
They're complaining because you can't shop. Yeah, way below, and they're suffering. So these are all, and also Nigerians who are doing good baking bread for those in the shelters. This woman in the video was actually there to support, giving them free bread. Stuff to support their living so they don't die. You know,
the government catches her, so she will join them and go back.
Why not?
Everybody needs to at some point learn to protect yourself. But first of all, we need to change the mindset of anywhere but Nigeria.
Yeah.
That's what just brings this. Anywhere, even if you do. I'm wondering, Iraq. Is Iraq better than Nigeria? I don't think so. But anywhere but Nigeria is what is making. I'm telling you, very ridiculous. Countries.
We have to wrap.
Everybody just wants
that
to
is
go.
all we can take on today's show. Hope you learned a few things as we have. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.